stream to my profile too.
Well, we're already live, so you could do it.
Yep.
You can still add. Hello and welcome to Media Studies. I'm James Brown. Thanks for joining me. You can check out my work at theweekendmedia.substack.com or jamesbrowntv.substack.com. I'm here with one of my banter buddies, Stabby Reyes Kulkarni.
Hello, everyone. Hi, James.
He's a music writer, media analyst himself, cultural critic. He hates the word critic, but I bring it up anyway because I think it's accurate. We have a lot to get into today. I think the title is apt: Guns, Rappers, the Moon Landing, and Joe Biden. And we're going to mix in some public media as well. It's going to get pretty heavy in the middle there. So I wanted to start kind of light with a question that I've been pondering for a while, if you'll indulge me, Mr. Kulkarni.
Please, of course.
Okay. This is where we start with Kevin Durant. For those of you who don't know who Kevin Durant is, I wonder how. He is one of the most famous basketball players in the world. And he has provided us with this gem.
Right. Hey yo, look, rest in peace to Barbara Davis. We hit another layer. When she speak to me, it's like she's saying prayers. I feel like Randy Moss when he was on the Raiders. Man, they love the haters. This woman so fine, I give her cash payments. Baby, I'm just glued to the basics. I wanted more moves. I got the crib sitting adjacent. In this whole world, I'm Freddie Jason. I'm sitting in the places of great but never complacent. Yeah, baby, I'm a stoner. Yeah, I took that long walk to the hill that made me alone. Like me and humble, I hang with mongrels. Gotta pay attention, it's a gossip amongst you, and you know it. The money that was paid took me scared money.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh boy.
Immediate reaction?
So if I didn't know that was Kevin Durant and that came across, my email or whatever, just the sound of it to review it, I would feel okay. This is an artist that's sort of in an amateur kind of lane that needs some encouragement and some development. But I would kind of feel bad because uh, it just
Go
strikes me
on.
as it's just like not everybody can be a rapper. Like it actually takes incredible musical skill, and this sounds it sounds like a kid, or it sounds so amateurish, right? To me, like some of the words he chooses to rhyme with each other, and it's like, okay, man, if you want to do that, like work at it the way you would basketball, like work, get some reps, like try to hone your skill.
Dang. I think Kevin's not going to take that well. I
And he's the type that might actually respond to people like with followings of our size, right?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He is maybe the pettiest of all of the athletes on social media. I mean, the man needs to realize that, hey, dude, you are crazy wealthy. You don't need this. You don't need to fight with me.
I'd love it if you, my God, how amazing would that be if he tuned into the lives? Not this one, obviously, because he didn't know, but if he somehow was lurking in the live stream next time.
Yeah. And as you said, he is the type that might, that's how he rolls. But the reason why I brought him up is not even so much about the quality. It's about this repeating theme. Rappers who want to be basketball players and basketball players who want to be rappers.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened for my entire life. I remember as a kid listening to Shaq's album. I think I may have bought Shaq's album.
Yeah.
More recently, you have guys like Allen Iverson, Ron Artest, Lonzo Ball had an album. Amon Shumpert has a bunch of albums. Damian Lillard it actually has a little bit of respect from rappers. I don't understand why these people who are esteemed at one level of society. I mean, they're
A
not
very high level.
exactly. They're not at a low level of society. They're at the very peak of their professions. The thing that they have spent their entire life building toward, they have reached.
Mm-hmm.
In a case of Kevin Durant, he's been an MVP of the league and he's won a bunch of titles.
Well, and
So-
he's talked about as if he's like inarguably one of the greatest players in history. That's the way he's talked about.
Easily top 20. And you could argue top 10.
And often bandied about as the greatest player now. Or
Yeah, one of them,
skilled, however
for
you,
sure.
however you want to
Certainly. Like
chuck that.
he's on, if there's a top 3 list, he's on it, which is an amazing feat in any profession
Right.
ever, let alone the NBA.
So why are you doing this sub entry level? If like rap music is a skyscraper, he's like below the mailroom. He's not even getting in the middle with this song.
Dang. Man, you're gonna get him in your mentions.
Who? Him?
You're gonna get him
No.
in your mentions.
Good. I mean, you know what? I would love to seriously, if I were ever at a level where I could interview him and have an actual conversation, I would love that. I mean, but I want to let you go on with your point because I do have some response to that, but I can feel where you're going with it. But please do continue. Don't let me throw you off there.
Well, there's the other side of the coin too. All right. Master P, one of the most successful rappers ever. J. Cole, one of the most successful rappers of the last 10 years. Quavo of the Migos, one of the most successful rappers of the last 10 years. 2 Chainz, Common, Lil Romeo, just to name a few. All of these people have either attempted as adults after they become famous rappers to become basketball players. Master P, I believe, actually even played a bit in the NBA. It was kind of a joke, but yes, he did. J. Cole
played in actual games. Wait, not just practice.
I think it was one game.
Okay.
I think, if I remember correctly, was it the Charlotte Hornets?
What year are we talking here?
We're talking mid 2000s.
Okay.
So this was after he hit his height, and he was on the downside. But he was known for, celebrity all-star games and all that stuff and I think it was more of a stunt than anything.
I was going to say, wouldn't the team do that just
for the pub?
I mean, Tony Romo got to play in a Mavericks game once too,
Yeah. And, it's mostly just for the attention on the team side. And teams are publicity whores.
I would do. I mean, it's fine. I think it's kind of cool. He didn't make a legit attempt to okay, I'm going to now be an NBA player as my next career.
Yeah. Well, the closest to that in this era is J. Cole. J. Cole actually played for a team in Africa, a pro team in Africa. He played poorly for that team, but he kept on trying. And
he kicked the shit out of us on a basketball court, though.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't deny that. But I wonder why put yourself through it. And just getting back to Durant for a minute. Mr. Durant has made nearly $400 million in the NBA so far.
Are you even talking? That's not even counting his endorsements and stuff.
Not counting his
Right.
endorsements.
So he's
Not
well on his way to a bill, isn't he? A billionaire?
probably
Close?
not getting another long-term contract. He's got a couple years on this contract. He's on the downside of his career.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's getting another giant contract. He's also built a media company. He's got crazy amounts of investments, 35 ventures.
Mm-hmm.
He's got an agent that seems pretty full of himself. That is his business partner, Rich Kleiman. Like the man is incredibly accomplished, and I'm pretty accomplished as a broadcaster. I've done above average. I've worked nationally. I've been on NPR. I've been on PBS. I've been on BBC.
But to be a Kevin Durant's level would be like you being like Walter Cronkite for
Yeah,
like 10
yeah,
years or
for
something,
sure, for sure.
right? Like
So,
that's
so
where
I'm not
he's.
quite on that level, right? But even I can't imagine. That's like me saying I want to go be a chemist right now.
So you forgot a couple people. I mean, I know you're talking about NBA, but
Yeah,
Chad Ochocinco just released an ad where he's rapping on in the ad for that. Is it FanDuel or one of those?
I believe it was FanDuel.
Um,
I may be wrong, but I think it was.
and yeah, so but I mean, it didn't seem like just a tossed off funny. It seemed like if somebody came up to Ochocinco and said, "Hey, make an album," I bet you he would do it. And you forgot about Ice Cube's basketball league. Now that's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
That's actually, I think, a more practical way to go with this. But I was going to say that clearly people who get to this level of accomplishment, they want to maintain some kind of fantasy of something they want it to be, and this is their way of kind of like re-experiencing the magic of trying to get to the mountaintop. You could also just say they're bored. In Kevin Durant's case, I think for all the accolades we shower on him, I think he is going to be remembered as somebody who underachieved because of some decisions he made, that he could have had like a Jordan-esque kind of run and fell short of that because of his judgment. So I think there's going to be that. It's like, my God, you were so amazing. And there's always going to be questions about, did you really get everything out of your career that you could have? And he's clearly bothered by, he's one of the most thin-skinned or sensitive or seemingly thin-skinned, reactive to the way he's perceived. So it's like, I automatically default to, man, what does this guy need to be fulfilled? Because he's always sort of on the defensive, defending himself, sounds beleaguered all the time, kind of miserable a lot of the time, actually, for all of that, which is a shame, right?
Mhm.
But then I think in the most flattering light, these people like to challenge themselves. So let them, why not? They like to climb. They've climbed mountains. This is what they do for a living. All the people you mentioned, they can all say, yo, we fucking climb Mount Everest for a living. And so when you climb Mount Everest, you're going to go to the other mountain and fall on your ass. All right, we'll do it. Maybe they like the risk of failure. It turns them on in some way, maybe.
Yeah, I can certainly see it that way. I think, and another one of those great points that you made there was that I think we underestimate how being rich and being famous is isolating.
Yes. Yes.
And when you are isolated and you're in a fishbowl, you're at the center of a fishbowl, and everybody's glaring at you all the time, I think your perspective gets twisted.
Just, I mean, how can it not? We see the proof of that perspective getting twisted.
And this is no doubt a case of that.
Because
He's a passable rapper on a cipher with friends, it's not his thing. Like, I'm not a
No.
bodybuilder. At a certain point, you got to give up the dream.
Yeah, I mean, see, it would have been cool if a producer that he hired had the nerve to be like, no, 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 I need to push you harder, or you need to push yourself harder.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, listen, Eazy-E was a shitty rapper, and look what he got out of it. But that's because Ice Cube and Dre were pushing him. They had to overdub him line by line. His sense of rhythm is horrible. When you see him on the Arsenio Hall show, they did the Arsenio Hall after Ice Cube quit. He does not have timing. He's got the whitest sense of timing of any rapper ever. But I mean, but you can still get something artistic out of it, is what I'm saying. Why couldn't his producer push more? Because maybe is he going to keep a guy around like that? Is going to be like, no, 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 no. I mean, if you're in a studio with somebody, it can be a very like drill sergeant kind of experience. Like it can be grueling. And I would hope Kevin Durant craves that, but is that what he got here? Or is that guy just psyched to have the gig?
To step back for a moment there, you've worked in studios
I've worked in one studio, yes.
and you've interviewed countless musicians.
Hmm.
Tell me about that drill sergeant kind of experience. Have you observed it? Have you heard
I've been in it.
people
I've
talk about
been
it?
fucking. I'm like, look, I, I mean, by any measure, I'm a high conflict personality. And in a creative situation, I think conflict is important. It doesn't have to be that way. There's sessions where are smooth, and that's nice too. But there are times when you really have to go to the mat for an idea that other people are resistant to. Now, as a producer, you are there to midwife, foster someone else's creation, but you have to fight them sometimes to get out of the way. Like I'm not the type of like collaborator that's like, no, 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 I'm the producer, so I know best, right? I don't look at the role of I look at the producer as a collaborator, and they are you drive your car, which is your creative vision. You say, hey, take the wheel for us. We're in the car with you, so we can all get someplace together that we couldn't have gotten on our own. But there are times when you have to really push against an artist's all sorts of tendencies, and you have to be in command of that situation. You have to tell people to leave the fucking room because they're driving you crazy playing video games in the back. I one time had a guy do jumping or jump rope for a while because he would sing and play drums at the same time. So I wanted him winded, and he did it, and he still teases me about it to this day. But yeah, man, you got to throw down sometimes, and I like that. So, but I mean, is Kevin Durant's producer gonna push him the way a coach would? Probably not.
Definitely unlikely. Starstruck is what I would expect that experience to be.
Happy to
for
be
me.
on the payroll.
Mhm.
You know, like this, I'm sure just for show, I would think just for showing up and being in Kevin Durant's airspace, you're getting as much as some people need in a year to
Mhm.
survive. So
Sure.
you know, rock that boat. I mean, I would. I think it'd be great. I mean, it's like, or you want to sit down and say, hey, what do you want to get out of this? Do you want to just put out a rap song that's kind of like looked at with pity and is like a news cycle kind of splash? Or do you want to push? I mean, you spent your whole life pushing towards something. Why not try here? I think people would respect that more than it sounds like a teenager, doesn't it? Like somebody's SoundCloud thing that
Definitely
they did in the
SoundCloud rapper vibes for sure.
yeah.